of you. This is exciting. We are here today and we're going to be answering some questions that we received from students. I do want to thank everyone who submitted questions. Most of the questions did pertain to the winter semester, and that's what we're here today to discuss. So we've got some people from the St. Lawrence College team on the call today who are going to address the questions that were submitted. And we're going to jump right into it. So first up, there were lots of questions about the timing and deadlines for the winter semester. Laura Nauman, our college registrar, is here. Laura, the most frequently asked question was, when does the winter semester start?
Thanks, Julie. I just want to let everybody know that the most important thing that you can do while you're waiting for winter semester to start is to make sure you're paying attention to our electronic communication, whether it's social media or your email, because we will be sending information out and updates out constantly to let you know. So when does the winter semester start? The week of January 18th, where we have our returning students. Most of our trades programs are starting on the 18th. Our new students, if you're just starting with SLC fresh in the winter, you'll be starting on the 19th. But we also do have some of our apprenticeship students that will be starting on the 11th. So make sure you go into your portal, go take a look, and it will give you more information about that. Other key things that we've been asked is when will I see my schedule? That's the most important thing. What am I going to be doing? What does that look like? A lot of our programs will be a combination in class and alternate delivery in the coming year. But what you can do is you can go to our website, which is brand new, so it's very exciting. And on the top bar, there's a link for COVID-19. Under that, you'll find some information about winter 21. And this is where you can find answers to all your FAQs. And if we didn't have the information, we will be updating that as well. So there are actually full program pages to let you know if your program specifically will have any on-campus components or if it will just be alternate. And if you're wondering what alternate delivery looks like, we do have some information on what that might look like specifically for your program. Another question, just a bit further to that, would be, what does it look like by course? I mean, if I have 4 hours of class a week, am I on camera for 4 straight hours? And that's what we say. Sometimes it's live and sometimes it's independent study. So the details and the information on what that breakdown looks like will be in your Blackboard. And I know that the academic teams are busy getting everything ready to make sure that it's really transparent and everybody has all of the information they need. So as for the schedule specifically, what we're looking at is right now we are finalizing what the schedule is, what the class schedules look like for the winter. So that work is being done. We're just making sure that we fine tune it so that it works for everybody. And that the next step will be to register students into those courses. So once you are enrolled in a course, you will be able to see it in your portal to see what time your courses are going to be. Now, though the timelines for this will vary by program depending how many students and what it looks like, but we are endeavoring to get everybody enrolled in their courses by the end of the first week of January. So just keep checking back to see what the status is. And one other thing is when you're looking at closing out the fall 20 semester, when are you going to see your grades? I know that people probably know that the college will be shut down from December 18th through to January 4th. And people are thinking, oh no, does everything stop? So we still do have our automated processes that are running, so grades will be updated. If a faculty member enters them in, the processes will run and you'll be able to see your grades on your portal as well. So that will be a continuous process. So there won't be any gap in that, so you'll be able to know how well you did. And the one final question that we're getting a lot of are fees. So when are fees going to be due? Again, if you go onto our new website, there is a link in great big letters on top that says fees. So it will let you know when your fees are due. Ultimately, your fees for winter semester for most people are going to be due by January 5th. But there are a few anomalies depending if you're new or returning, and domestic and international. Sometimes it depends on when you applied, certainly for the international students. The details and information are all available there. So those are some of the big questions. I guess the one final thing is other processes, whether you want to apply for transfer credits, you're looking at what does graduation applications look like, all of the standard things that we really haven't made a lot of changes to those processes. So again, when will you hear about that? Transfer credits, you can still apply as you can every semester for transfer credits up to day 10 of classes, and you do that through transfer at sl.on.ca, and then somebody will be able to help you with that. One other piece is if you're going to be graduating this year, we'll start sending information out to students who are eligible to graduate around the end of January, first few weeks of February, to let you know what your next steps are. So again, really critical to go check the website for updates and make sure you really watch your email, because we will be doing a lot of communicating and trying to keep everybody up to date.
Fantastic, Laura. Thank you. It does sound like there's a little breathing room at the start of the new year for students to get some time there before the 18th. We're going to turn now to Anya Brooker. She is the college's Student Rights and Responsibilities Officer, and as part of the Student Affairs team, Anya's going to answer some questions that were specific to that area. Hi, Anya.
Hi, Julie. Thanks for having me.
Oh, this is so exciting. So we'd like to know if there'll be any changes from the fall semester compared to the winter semester.
Yeah, for sure. So there are some plans underway, and we'll be confirming shortly. We want to expand the services that are available on campus, like libraries, gym space, study areas. But of course, we have to make sure that we're complying with the latest public health guidelines. But definitely stay tuned. Students should stay tuned because we are working to increase the number of people using campus services.
That will be great news to have more detail about early in the new year. Thank you. Anya, another question that we had received was around students who might be leaving the region to travel home for the holiday. They might be leaving Kingston, Brockville, Cornwall, and heading back to other places in the province. Can you speak to whether or not students who are staying within Canada need to quarantine when they come back to campus in January?
Right, sure. The requirement for people to quarantine applies for people who leave Canada. So we're encouraging people who are leaving our region and maybe traveling home or to a hotspot over the holidays, consider limiting their interactions when they return in January, and that will hopefully help limit the spread of COVID-19.
Fantastic. So like we've been hearing all along, it's really that common sense piece, and everyone can do their part to limit exposure and spread. Great. Thank you, Anya. So Laura, the next question is for you, and it does pertain to convocation. Is there any news or updates on the convocation plans?
We actually have something new at St. Lawrence. We have a convocation committee that's meeting, and this committee is made up of representatives from all of our campuses as well as students. So what we're doing right now is we're looking at the possibilities. Obviously, ideally, we want to have everybody in a big room. We want to celebrate in our traditional format, but we want to make sure, again, much to what Anya said, is that we're following guidelines and we're doing what is possible. So this year we weren't able to hold in-person ceremonies for the class of 20, so we did come up with some really great alternatives, and then of course still looking forward. So what our process is right now is we're going to be meeting, and hopefully early in the new year we'll be able to give an update on what celebrations are going to look like and how, because we want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to celebrate their great accomplishments.
That is excellent news. And I'd encourage anyone who's curious about convocation to check out that page on the SLC website. There's a great profile of valedictorians of the class of 2020 and information that was done. And of course, there will be more news coming, so we'll all look forward to that. I have one last question for you, Laura. I mean, we know students have a lot to juggle between school, work, and their family and commitments. We've gotten questions, kind of a variation of these questions around whether or not students can choose their own timetable. You know, they might be commuting or they might have certain needs. Is there any insight we can share on that?
Sure. The best thing to do is once your timetable is posted, because we do register students, we do not have a pre-registration option at this point. Many of our programs are very block based. We don't have as many electives because they're very career specific, so there's certain requirements for every one of our programs. So they are quite prescribed. So in a different format, at some of the universities, there are a number of electives, so you can pick and choose. Because of the size of our class, because we do like to try and keep our classes more small and intimate for optimal learning environment. Generally, there's not a lot of options to be able to pick what time you want to do a course at. There may be some available, and certainly we do try to work with our students to make sure that, you know, that they can have the optimal learning experience, and it can work within their, you know, their personal their personal situation. The really positive thing that we have with alternative delivery is that there is an opportunity to schedule your life around some of the alternate delivery courses in some of the formats. Some courses you may have to be there in person, online, but there is certainly a great deal of it that can be independent as well.
Fantastic. I love any time we hear a silver lining in this new world we're navigating, and certainly everyone understands that it is a complex system. This wraps up what the first round of questions were that we received. And again, I thank you both for taking the time to record these. We'll be making this available, and we'll be having more sessions filmed in coming weeks to share information as we help our students prepare for the winter semester. So please note, if you didn't hear your question answered here, it may be answered in an upcoming session, or we will be reaching back out to students directly whose question might have been very, very specific to their program or circumstance, and we'll be making sure that they receive an answer directly. So in summation, everyone, please remember to stay connected. Remember to keep checking your student email and college social media accounts. And the student engagement app SLC is also another great place to access information to help you prepare for the winter semester. I wish everyone a safe and happy holiday season, however you celebrate. And we will be back in touch early in the new year to continue making sure everyone's prepared to have a great semester. Take care, everyone.